Hey now, welcome and or welcome back. If this is your first time visiting my channel, my name is Elise, aka the Pretty Nerd, and today we're going to be discussing What I Know for Sure by Tavis Smiley. Hey y'all, welcome to my little slice of YouTube where we will discuss books and take the concepts within these books and relate them to everyday life. I appreciate y'all being here and sharing in this journey with me. Thanks. Okay, so first things first, Happy New Year. Welcome to 2024. I hope this year that your burdens are light, your pockets are heavy, your smiles are everlasting, and your blessings are overflowing, okay? Let's make the commitment to make 2024 our best year, because we can do it with God. We can do it, okay? Very much our best year yet. So, got this reading journal from my best friend Ginger. Thank you, girl. Appreciate it. My sister is working on a custom one for me, very much like the one I had last year when I was a note-taking girly. I'm still a note-taking girly. Here I am with the notes for my other girls and guys. Do guys even watch my content? I don't know. If you're a guy and you watch my content, please comment down below the male emoji, because I'm like pretty sure that most of my content is like predominantly most of my subscribers or supporters are predominantly women. But if you're a guy and you support the channel, okay, but also comment down below and let me know that there are men who are on the channel or subscribers or watchers or followers of the channel, because I appreciate you. I try to make content for everybody, but you know, you never know. So let's get into it. Okay, so as you can see, this is a physical book. I had a physical book. It is a memoir. I started it, if you remember, like late November. I know it took me a long time to finish this book. Don't judge me, don't judge your mama. Don't judge me, judge your mama. I finished this book today, January 9th, actually. And it has 260 pages. Nobody recommended it to me. I had read another book by Tavis Smiley, the one on Martin Luther King Jr., and thought that writing was so profound and the book was so good. It was such a good read or whatever. I think that book is called The Death of a King by Tavis Smiley. Check that out. But that was way before I had a Instagram page, a YouTube channel, or a Facebook reading group. So of course there's no review for that, but it was a great read. The Death of a King by Tavis Smiley. Check that out if you got time. But I read that, and because his writing was so good in that book, I added another one of his books to my TBR, and this was that book. This book, so on my like notes here, they have like these questions that you have to answer pertaining to the book, and so I figure I share that information with y'all. I gave the ease of reading of the book a 3 out of 5. The book is easy to read. It's just a hard read. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense, but it makes sense, right? Like, the book itself is an easy read. Like, yes, there's some words that you might not know or whatever, but overall it's an easy read. But it's not an easy read just because it was like womp womp womp, kind of like boring a little bit. So I think that was the challenge and why it took me so long to read it, because it was like, okay, now what? Like, there were some parts in the book, we'll get into those later, that were kind of like juicy and stuff, but overall it was just like womp womp. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars for originality, because it's a memoir. Like, I guess it could not be original like Jada's book Worthy, because like her structure was like copied off of Wheels. Was that shade? I'm sorry, but that wasn't the case here. So 5 out of 5 for originality. Style was a 3 out of 5. And the only reason why I said that, for the same reason, is just that it was hard to get through. hard to get through for sure. The plot, again, 3 out of 5. And I know, like, that's hard because it's his life, but like, it wasn't given. It just wasn't. It wasn't given. So let's get into like my thoughts about the book. Honestly, truly, I ain't gonna hold you. This book is like almost every other memoir you've read. I take that back because I believe that like Will's memoir was really good. Common's memoir was really good. I feel like I've maybe read and reviewed some other memoirs that I thought were really good. They're just not coming to mind at this moment. But like your typical memoir of like a person being in a living environment or upbringing that had experienced lots of scarcity or lack. This was that. He had an older brother and a younger brother, and then y'all please disregard that. I don't know why I told y'all that he had an older brother. He is the oldest. He is literally the oldest. His mother had him before she had even gotten married to his father. So he didn't have an older brother. He is the older brother. Charge it to my head and not my heart. But I had to come on here and correct that for y'all. Like his mother's sister got murdered and they took in her 6 kids, so then it became like an expanded household. And so therefore, as you can assume or think, money was tight and it was hard to come about and it was hard to pass around. So what do you call that stuff when stuff is pass me downs were prevalent. New shoes, new clothes, new coats, hats, those things weren't as frequent as like other kids in his area. But he was always an exemplary student, had great speaking skills, won contests, was in speech competitions, all of those kind of things. The most dramatic part of the book, and probably by far the most interesting part of the book, was when he had let me backtrack a little bit. His parents were devout Pentecostal Christians, right? And so I don't know much about being of the Pentecostal faith. I hope that's the right wording. But they, according to the book, it's very strict, right? They believe like if it's not inside the realm of the church or in the realm of like what's in the Bible per se, it's not of God. So like to go to speech contests or to run for class president, like those things take you away from God, and they don't necessarily glorify God's position and what God wants you to do on earth, according to how it was detailed in the book. Now, if that's your faith, please don't come from my neck. I'm just saying what he was saying in the book, okay? All right. So, because they were so devout in their faith and they were like always at church, 7 days a week almost at church, cleaning the church, volunteering, helping out, all of those things. An incident happened at church where the pastor had got in front of the congregation and said something negative about Tavis and his sister, really his cousin, about them behaving poorly in Bible study. So because the pastor got in front of the congregation and made this comment in front of everybody, Tavis's dad was very embarrassed and used, fueled by anger, went home, got an extension cord, and savagely beat Tavis and his sister / cousin, we're gonna call her sister cousin, Phyllis, for and the embarrassment that was brought to their family. Right? Even though, according to what Tavis said, what the pastor said was untrue, they were punished severely. And when I say severely, let me put you in the mind frame. Think of slaves being whipped back in the day. Like, their back and legs were torn open by the extension cord, so much so that he had went to gym and couldn't participate, and somebody touched his back and he like jumped. He had to show them what was going on. They took him from his parents and put him into foster care, and he stayed there for quite a little bit of time before returning home to his family. Now his sister cousin Phyllis never came back home, and they, according to Tavis, it affected her in such a negative way that in her later years as an adult she struggled with addiction, in an attempt to cope with why she was treated and punished in the way that she was. So that was like one of the most interesting things happened. The second most interesting thing that happened was, because they were so devout in their faith, they didn't really want him to go off to college. So he received a acceptance letter to a school, but his parents wouldn't sign the paperwork so that he could let the school know that he was accepting their acceptance letter. And he ended up showing up to the school. The school had no record of him, and getting in front of the right people, getting in a work study, securing some loans, going to school and obtaining his degree, or trying to obtain his degree. It was so hard to get through, y'all. I can't even hold you. I don't even remember, did he get his degree? I want to say yes, but it could be no. I probably should have taken more notes. I don't know. I was looking for my LaCroix. Do y'all drink LaCroix or bubbly? If y'all don't, y'all missing out. And for those of y'all who don't drink it, please do not get in my comments telling me how it's nasty. I don't need that kind of negativity in my life. Thank you very much. Hold on a second. I'm going to go get my LaCroix. Okay, so clearly I must have drank my LaCroix or misplaced it or whatever, but we have wine. A girl deserves a good glass of wine every now and then. So, but he did what Dr. King noted as pulling himself up by his bootstraps, because he came from such humble beginnings and was able to secure a spot in a university when the university hadn't even known of him, prior to them sending him an approval letter saying that yes, we would accept you into the into the college, and him not doing any further paperwork or being able to do any further paperwork because his parents weren't in support of that. So he did that. Then he worked at the mayor's office in Los Angeles. Yeah. I think he had worked at a mayor's office prior to that and got caught stealing time off his paycheck. But okay, that's not honestly, nothing in the book really stood out. Of course, once he became got on BET and started doing becoming a radio personality and a TV personality, and now he's a staple in the Black community, and clap clap clap, Tavis, we love you, we stand. But outside of that, the book is just kind of a wash. It's not a must read. I looked at other reviews that people have wrote about the book, and I'm just were we reading the same book? Now, I think he's very important to the Black community. His commentary on political and socio-economical things that are happening in the Black community. His written pieces about profound Black activists in our community, and not even Black activists, but activists of all colors in our community, and things that affect our community is exemplary. It's necessary. He does necessary work. And I think that because of that, he has been a coveted part of our community. However, the book itself, at least this one, I think you could Google about him and get a synopsis of what is detailed in this book that would be equally as riveting. Because this just wasn't it. Like, it was a wash. So because of that, I gave the book 3 out of 5 stars. I wouldn't personally recommend it. Like I said, watch this review, share this review if somebody's asking about it. I don't know that many people asking about it, but that's not my business. I think most people in the Black community know who Tavis Smiley is or has heard the name. And again, if you haven't, Google him. It's sufficient. You really don't need to read this book. I got this book. Ooh, where did I get this book from? I don't remember where I got the book from. I want to say Half Price Bookstores or something like that. No, I take that back. I got this from Barnes & Noble. I bought it from Barnes & Noble with a gift card. I think I paid about $14 because it retails for like $13.95. So about $14 from Barnes & Noble off of my TBR list. And so I saved you the trouble. You do not need to read this book. You do not need to spend your coin on this book. If you have any questions, come see your girl. Talk to your girl. Leave me a message. Send a smoke signal. I don't know. But you don't got to go pick up the book. I done the hard work for you. It was very hard work. Let me say it again. It was very hard work, y'all. Do y'all know how long it took me to read this book? Don't get it. Don't read it. Save the time. Read something else. So, that's the end of that review. My next book is Girl, Girl, Girl by Kenya Hunt. I've heard great things. Great things. Lots of the girlies on Bookstagram, aka Instagram, the niche part of Instagram, have read this, have loved it. I'm excited to give you guys my take on it. Until I see you in the next one, be well, be happy, read a little bit, love a whole lot, and take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.